Hey everybody, it's Michelle and I am on the home stretch. This is day number 28 of my preparatory month of Leader of One project. And I'm going to tell you, these days are very hard. I am in the finish cycle of this particular month, and I'm going to be honest, I'm nowhere near being finished. So today I am talking about don't solve, just handle it. I've been trying to reconcile why I'm like, I did everything I was supposed to. Why am I not finished? And then, of course, this week I've been beating myself up for, you're not going to finish, you're going to be late and all this kind of stuff. And I was seeking, to get some clarity, do some meditation. I'm going to tell y'all, I'm going to just say this. If you are not taking the free wisdom of doing meditation seriously, you're missing out. You are missing out. Meditation, along with body movement, is one of the biggest things that I can say has helped me keep my sanity, along with people, but personally keep my sanity and stay the course to do this. Meditate, y'all. Move your body. And the movement exercises, it's not so that you can lose weight, because that's done in the kitchen. Toning of your body, strengthening your bones and your muscles and all that. This is a ecosystem that we're working with, and we got to give ourselves every opportunity to succeed. But let me get back to where I am staring down after my last 2 days of this particular month, and not being on the final home stretch of finishing up some things. Made a few notes. All right. So I want to talk about don't solve, handle. And doing that quick little reframe, I heard that from a book by Dan Harris. I think the name of it is 10% Happier. And he's a television news person. And it talks about his journey going from extreme skeptic to embracing meditation to help him with his scattered mind and anxiety, panic issues. And I want to just go back, because it impressed me so much, because I found myself getting into having to fight harder to be okay with the fact that I don't know how to work any faster, and to understand that I still left too much on my plate to get done this month, but it's okay. And so when I talk about solve, don't solve, just handle it. What I mean is there's a whole bunch of stuff that I'm putting in this, and I really want you guys. Hey, yes. Writing these books and all this kind of stuff. Yes, definitely. Hey, Yanetta. Is when we handle what we've got on our plate instead of trying to solve it, it puts you in a different mindset. And so instead of having to try to come out with, please, are you asking for, the book, say it again. Okay, the book it's by Dan Harris, and the book is called 10% Happier. I'll drop a link in the notes after I get done. Great book. And, it just lets you know everybody's cuckoo in some kind of way or another. I mean, he tells it all. He talks about trying to solve it with drug addict. He didn't say that he was addicted, but his cocaine use and all this other stuff. And I remember when that happened to him, the main event that started him on this journey. But the big takeaway that I got from him was just not taking my life, so seriously that it's debilitating. And when I say don't solve, handle, what I mean is when we try to solve something, we're trying to come up with a solution, and we're actually pulling ourselves outside of where we're supposed to be, because this is a journey. And yes, the solve is the goal. These books have to be done. They've got to be quality. This project for this client has to be turned in, and it has to make sense to them. It just can't be my raw ramblings and bindings. And yes, I have to be present for my one-on-one consulting clients and be able to do what I do with them. But instead of trying to solve it with coming up with a solution, an answer to how can I get this done or whatever, instead, I'm just handling it. And that is taking it moment by moment. And the only way I'm personally able to do that is by two things. I talked about one of them. Sorry, you guys. I talked about one of them, and that is meditation. And when I talk about meditation, I am a spiritual person. And you guys, I'm sorry, my nose. I am a spiritual person. But you can do this if that weirds you out. You can do this in a secular fashion, and that is to work on, all you have to do is work on not trying to control or even manage your thoughts. Acknowledge them and let them move on. And the more they come, I see you, acknowledge it, and let it move on. When I was in grad school, mindfulness, we were really working with that so that we would be able to work better with ourselves, with our clients, and all this kind of stuff. And it was so profound that we talked about one of the medical field's purveyors of mindfulness studies. I forget his name. Oh my gosh, but he did work up in Boston, and he took terminally ill cancer patients, and he took them off of the meds because it wasn't going to matter anyway. And he just had them sit and be with their pain, be with the mortality, be with the probability of relief. And what he found is that the more people sat with what it is and they just handled it instead of tried to solve it, or get away from it, they were able to get the relief. And so like today, it's been different. I am not trying to figure out, okay, well, how can I move this around or whatever? And I found that I was kind of in that energy yesterday, and I noticed some frenetic energy seeping in. And today I was like, woosah, slow yourself down. The other component, besides sitting with myself, and it doesn't take long. If you need to, set an egg timer for 1 minute and just try to do it that way. And start there. But the more you do it, the more you get an insight into the workings of this mystery. I read this other book earlier this week. It's hardcore. So if you're not in the medical profession, weak stomach, don't read it. But it's called Battle of the Dueling Neurosurgeons, and this guy talks about all of these neurological issues and disorders. And I was like, whew. But I did it while I was walking on my treadmill to listen to something totally different from what I was doing. And I was like, boy, if I don't meditate, I'm gonna be messed up. I'm gonna be trying to be on WebMD trying to diagnose, am I cuckoo? And so it was just kind of funny that moving from all of the stuff that we try to do, especially when everything is on you. If I don't make this happen, it doesn't get done, And so I find that I fall into these solve for it, get the answer, make it happen kind of things. And I really believe, because I've been more consistent, because I have been scheduling my routine of moving my body, meditating, being on, I call it my daycare schedule, because I need structure. I definitely know that I need structure. I'm not as adult as some of you may be, but I have to have structure. And so I call it my daycare schedule. And so I have to know, barring, things that might happen, if it's a regular day, this is when I do this is when I do that, and this is when I do that. And one of the things that I laughed at in some of my iterations, depending on what I'm doing, I'll even schedule a nap in, because I'm going to tell you, a 20 to 40 minute nap will do you wonders depending on what you're working on and all that kind of stuff. So it all works together. But going back to don't solve, handle, it allows you to be able to interact with what you're doing and just take it at that moment. And what my big takeaway is that not only do I need to meditate, but I have to give myself more self-compassion. Now, compassion is a word that I love. And compassion is that it has a empathy along with passion. And passion is very active. It's fiery, peppery. It is very on the offense. It's not a reaction. It's on the offense. And so when I have self-compassion, yes, I can look with a critical eye of what I need to stop doing, what takeaways and feedback of what opportunities I let slip. But I also have empathy that I'm human. And when I say I'm human, I'm not making an excuse. I'm just saying this is a learning. Every day, every moment is a brand new day, brand new mercy, and we're going to have to learn. And so watch all of that, inner critic talk, temper it with truth and love, self-love from myself. And being able to do that, being able to handle oh, wow, I've been avoiding this task. Okay, let me set a timer for 10 minutes and just deal with the task. And then once I get a momentum, I'll set a timer for 15 minutes and on and on. I only got up to 30 minutes. There's some interview questions I got to answer and some blog posts, the stuff that I kind of like always push off that I have to get done because I'm like, this is the end of the month and this stuff has to be done. And just dealing with it instead of trying to solve for how I'm going to get it done and come up with a better solution, just dealing with it. And I'm telling you, it works, people. It works. It works. So like when you're trying to finish stuff and it seems like, how am I going to get this done? Don't try to solve how you're going to get it done. Don't try to come up with a perfect answer or a perfect plan. Just get in the mix with it and let it rumble. Let it go. Meditate. Even for like 5 minutes, just get your mind to settle down. And one of the other things I want to say about meditation, you're not trying to come up with an answer. You're not trying to come up with a deep insight. Yes, those can happen. But if you can just allow your mind to consciously slow down for even 5 minutes, when you do go back and sit at your desk or do whatever you're doing, you're going to be amazed at a buffer, a catalyst of ability to do more you've done by just even 5 minutes. Now, I do around 30 minutes. That's usually my goal, and I have it scheduled into my day. But, work up to that. I know some people that do an hour. I do an hour every now and again, but around 30 minutes, and I'm good to go. I get my walking in on my walking desk, and good to go. And, just getting into my daycare schedule. And I am finding that self-compassion, not taking myself too seriously, and not trying to solve and be the brainiac to answer all the questions of why, what, and how, instead of just interacting with it and handling it, is really, really helpful. And then I want to talk about one other thing, and that is what you can also find that in this book that this guy talks about. Now, his is about his spirit. He doesn't call it a spiritual journey, but he really talks about, if memory serves me correctly, he really talks about the iterations of him going into meditation, and he moves more into Buddhism and all that kind of stuff, and that's fine. I mean, it is what it is. But he said something in the end of the book that I remembered that has impacted me so much, and he was saying that basically, the more self-compassion we extend to ourselves, the more we have a greater capacity and ability to be resilient, to bounce back. And right now, that's what we need. We have to bounce back. If we're looking forward to what's coming ahead, we are in a totally different world where there are totally different things that we have to learn to embrace. And Being able to have resiliency and bounce back doesn't mean that you bounce back to do the same old, same old. It means that you don't shirk away from change. It means that we are mindful of who we are, but we're also able to endure the fear of the unknown to do what we need to do. I'm no Nostradamus, none of that. But what I do know, I think in the depths of my soul and my bones, is that 9 times out of 10, most of us will have to embrace new ways of lifestyle, career, family, and everything. Everything is on the table, and everything has changed. And only those who are building this habit by becoming your own leader of yourself are going to persevere and be able to learn the new skills and become what you need to be, what I need to be able to be successful. I hear you, possibly the wheels turning like, okay, this is mumbo jumbo, and that might be the case, because that may be where you are. But for that one person that might listen to this, I'm going to tell you this right now, coming down to the wire of getting stuff done. Don't try to force it. Just work with it. Be okay if it is not perfectly how you visioned it. Be able to employ self-compassion of even forgiveness, loving kindness, gentle words of encouragement, but keep moving forward. The more you do that, the more that resiliency muscle that helps you to pop back up like a kangaroo when you hit the mat is going to come forward. And I guarantee you're going to say, oh, Michelle said this was going to happen. I guarantee you, things that used to knock you out of the ring and keep you down for the count are going to be nothing. Just do that. Do that on a regular basis, and you're going to be able to have the things that you want. You're going to be the person who can handle having that. One of the biggest issues for me that I had to come to grips with was the stuff I had on my page of what I wanted. When I was honest, I was like, this version of Michelle can't handle that. This version of Michelle needs to know how to be a self-leader, so that when I work with more contractors and more resources and people and things, I won't get so overwhelmed and just want to be like, just forget it. And so being able to just handle stuff by using a simple tool of 5 minutes of meditation to just give your mind a rest, and being able to have self-compassion, to build your ability to be resilient, to build your ability to persevere, to build your ability to not succumb to the debilitating emotional fatigue that comes when trying to live this life that we've got to live. I'm telling you, this works. All right, so that's what I wanted to say. Let me just recap real quick. When I say don't solve, handle, what I mean is, don't try to get all in your mind trying to figure out how you're going to press through and make it, force that round peg and round tube into the square peg. No, just interact with it one-on-one as it comes. Being self-loving, speaking words of kindness, having self-compassion to build your resiliency. If this doesn't work, okay, that's okay. Didn't work this time. Let me keep going. And you're going to find that you bounce off that mat when you hit a wall and get knocked down easier. Your perseverance grows. All of that stuff that we've been working on through this month, starting out, we're getting clear. Then after that, building up our ability to have commitment to what we said. Then building in consistency to do this on a daily schedule. And now working to try to get to completion. Forgive yourself if you didn't hit all your goals. Guess what? Just handle it. Deal with the gist as it comes, second by second. Take some breaths, get clear, and we're going to be all right. All right, so this is Michelle, and I am going to, guess what? I'm going to go and I'm going to see y'all tomorrow. If you are following along with me, give a shout out. Share these if they're helping you and others. And just know that we got this. And it's not pretty. It's not cute. But it's all right. Okay? So, with that being said, for those of you who are interested in joining the group, watching these or whatever, the link is in the description. For those of you who are sponsors or want to become a sponsor, thank you so much. The link is in the description. And guess what? I'm going to see you tomorrow for day number 29. All right. Bye, y'all.